Hello everybody, welcome to the streets of Tokyo. This is Shintomicho, and there's an Appa hotel right there. This is you can tell from the iconic orange that they have, as well as the very simplistic style of the Appa hotels. And in this episode I wanted to come here and talk about Tokyo raising the accommodation tax, or at least talking about raising the accommodation taxes. And this is a big deal because this will inflate the price of a stay, in particular if you're staying for more than a few days in a certain area. You could be paying an extra $50, $60, $70 or more, depending on how much that they hike this tax. Now, there is already an accommodation tax in Tokyo that was started, I guess, around 2000, maybe 20 years ago or so. And it's very reasonable. Let's cross the street here. It's very reasonable. So we walk over in front of the Appa Hotel. These are really functional hotels. You just have to not mind the CEO much. She seems to get in the way of her own objectives, maybe, unless you're a certain group of people. But sometimes people just don't care, and that's fine. All right, let me stand in the shade because it is so hot out here. Now, the tax here is clearly defined by the city of Tokyo here. They actually have, and I put a link in the description to this, a guide to the Metropolitan Tokyo taxes in English. So, you know, when you're not sure, you go straight to the source. So let's go straight to the source here. Now, it's on page 63. 2023s have not been released there. Let's scroll up. This is actually a video. I'm not actually doing anything. And you can see here that the taxes are, if your hotel is, I can even pull this up here. Wrong one. If your hotel is 10,000 yen or more, you pay 100 yen, and if it's 15,000 yen or more, you pay 200 yen. If it's a cheap hotel, you don't pay any accommodation tax. So that's really interesting. Now they're going to be making adjustments to that because they have no choice. The reality is that they have a massive tourism budget shortfall. This accommodation tax brings in about, what was it, like 5% of the actual budget that they spend for tourists who come to Tokyo. That's not a lot. I think it was like 1.7 billion yen versus 22 billion yen of expenditures. So they're in the red a lot, and that's not good. So they're of course going to have to raise it. And I think with the return of tourists, they're going to do what Niseko has done. Niseko is a ski resort up in Hokkaido. Kuchan is the name of the city. And they have a flat 1,000, I think it was 1,000 yen per night tax on tourists. And they're probably going to lower in Tokyo, this is my feeling, the threshold for taxation from 10 to 15,000 yen per hotel to maybe like almost everybody. I think it'll just be like capsule hotels, you don't have to pay accommodation tax perhaps, and guest houses and youth hostels. But 10,000 yen seems to be a pretty good starting point though. But maybe they'll go to 7,500 yen, I'm not sure, just to raise more revenue because they seriously need it. And what this revenue pays for by the city is the free Wi-Fi that you've got just about everywhere. They've set it up at old payphone booths, have a free Wi-Fi. All the cities have them. So this costs, someone has to pay for it. It's you, all right? I don't think the residents should have to pay for it. I got Wi-Fi at home. And I get a pretty good 4G LTE plan. I don't want to pay for your Wi-Fi. Welcome to Japan. I'm not paying, you pay. Let's be honest about it. So the debate, it started about 2 days ago, where you can see here the Japan Times has an article, but actually the Japan Times got it from Kyoto News, and I don't get my stuff from Japan Times, I get it from Kyoto News, which is free. They don't put anything behind a paywall. So the headline reads here, more Japan tourist hotspots imposing hotel taxes to fund promotions. You know, they don't pay me to do this. So where is this money going? I want to know, right? I think we all want to know. Because if you pay a tax, you want to know where it goes, right? So I guess they need to do these promotions, but who's getting it? Dentsu, most likely. And I'm not a friend of Dentsu. Well, not unless they pay me, perhaps, but that's not going to happen. So Dentsu, probably getting a lot of this promotion money, which does not make me happy. Let's look at this here. Just to give some background on it, the town of Kuchan in Hokkaido I just moved here. I can't see the text. Home to the popular ski resort Niseko is the only location that has implemented a percentage rate tax rate based on the amount spent on accommodation. So no one does which is odd because everywhere else in the world they have a like percentage tax rate based on, like Hawaii, for example. Not only do they have like a hotel tax, they have like a resort tax. Waikiki has a tax on everything. A total of 2% of the room charge is collected, while the rate is higher for luxury lodging such as condominiums and areas that cost over 100,000 yen per night, which is a lot of places in Kuchan. Peter and I were there. We saw like Lamborghinis going by there. So there's a lot of money in that area. Adopting the accommodation tax in areas yet to do so will require setting tax rates, collection methods, defining areas it will be spent, requiring the understanding and cooperation of local hotel industries. Yeah, good luck with that. So right now it's just a flat rate in Tokyo. Kyoto is the one that has a 1,000 yen and a 500 yen flat tax rate, and Kuchan as well. So Kyoto has already been doing this for quite a while. And you can feel it because it's quite expensive to get it. The article continues. This is from Kyoto News, the source that I usually get, I read first. Revenues collected has been increasing since 2011, which is when the tsunami and earthquake came. There weren't a lot of tourists in that year. Most people were afraid of possible radiation and all this other stuff, rightfully so, but I stayed. Hitting a record high of around 2.7 billion in the fiscal year 2019 when tourism was at a massive height, but fell in 2020, 2021, obviously. Yeah. During the Olympics, they collected like nearing nothing. Which is crazy. With the recent return of international tourists, the total of expected to recover the fiscal 2023 to about 1.7 billion yen. And this is why they're gonna raise the taxes. But that figure falls well short of covering the capital's outlay on tourism promotions in the same year, which is forecast to be a total around 26.4 billion yen. So they bring in 1.7 with taxes and they spend 26.4 billion yen. Who is doing this? First of all, that doesn't make a lot of sense, Tokyo. So how do you pay for this, huh? I'm giving you free promotion right here. Maybe not today, but all the tourists coming in here are doing more free promotion and more people are watching what the YouTubers are doing than all these promotions that you're paying ads for in newspapers and stuff. P.S. Not a lot of people read newspapers. Just saying. Maybe not put your money there, Tokyo. You know what I'm saying? So, like, who is deciding the budget? So they make a budget. If you don't use it, you lose it, so they just waste it. And that's the issue with taxes in Japan. Does the budget need to be that high? Does it actually pay off? Who's getting it? Before you raise the hotel taxes, maybe give the tourists an idea of where you're spending that money that you're taking from them. I'm just saying. It's probably a good idea to be more efficient. But in the end, check it out. Cop car. And in the end, you're going to have to pay for it. And the result of it is going to be, we're not sure yet. But they've got to collect that windfall, so it looks like it's going to be a percentage tax, most likely. And how they collect it, I'm not sure. So I want to know, 8.5 minutes in, how do you feel about this? This is a live stream, so like I'm wetting my lips because I'm getting ready for the wind up here. Let me know what you guys think about this hotel tax, because I don't want to see it for you, because I know it's going to be a significant percentage, and if it's a percentage, it's probably going to affect places like this that doesn't have to pay it because they're usually under the 10,000 yen threshold, probably because they don't have to do compliance for this tax. Takayama charges 150 yen a night onsen tax. Safe to say I use the public baths every night to get my money's worth. Yeah, if you have an onsen, you're probably going to use it. And that water has to be pumped out from a certain depth, so there are costs involved with that. So I can understand 150 yen is pretty reasonable. But when you get to like a tax on top of a tax on top of a tax, like, is it an accommodation tax? Are they gonna have an onsen tax? Are they gonna put in a resort tax on top of it, or a luxury hotel tax? I see maybe Tokyo going the way of Waikiki, and that's scary. Bradshaw Studios, thank you, always. It's nice to see you here. Yeah. All right, Roddy writes in here, Japan doesn't even need tourism advertisement. She's already the cutest, hold on a second, the cutest girl at the ball and tons of people want to go, but it's often cost prohibitive. If they use that money to give tourists vouchers to do more stuff, maybe they would do more stuff, thus increasing the amount of taxes that took. I don't know. There's lots of different ways that they can think about it, but I can tell you that their promotions, I have not seen them well. I'm just saying. Maybe they don't need to raise taxes, they need to cut their budget. Just probably. Or if they paid YouTubers to make content, I would consider promoting their tax hike. I'm kidding, sort of. No, maybe. Morgan writes in here, blame the weakening yen. That's a rough thing to do. You know, if you start implementing, this is a dangerous road. If you start implementing policy based on currency exchange, that is a recipe doomed to failure. First of all, I think that the weak yen is great because it's encouraging people to do more things here, more experiences, pay for things that they probably would normally hadn't done or add on to their trip here. We're seeing, you know, I do news programs here in Japan. You guys all know that. I'm on TV, news program, and I'll be on Tokoro George's NHK program at the end of summer, which was kind of a cool thing. And I was talking about some of the lack of attractions in Kabukicho, and then the new attractions leaving a transition period where people are starting to discover new things that were not there when they first came, and discovering things that they came when they were here in 2019 are no longer there. So I've been doing my work on Japanese TV to talk about this. But for those of you that are you know, coming here with a stronger dollar, you're doing more things with it. The data is already in for that. From January to June of this year, we're seeing the cost that tourists are paying for new experiences is higher. So raising the prices of accommodation or taxing does not make a lot of sense, because you're going to be taking money away from people spending on those experiences which they can afford now. We're seeing that. WRX turbos in the house. I slipped that in there. So yeah, I guess you could blame it on the weakening yen, but I would not base policy on that. And I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, maybe the governator here is smart enough to realize that. I don't think another governor could run against her and win right now, so you can call her a governator. We can cross the street to get a better view of Hotel Appa. Have you ever stayed in an Appa hotel? What's it like? I haven't stayed there in years because I don't know. Maybe I don't agree with the CEO. She's a little harsh. By the way, across the street from this hotel is a, where is it? Right there. That's the Aomori prefectural shop. So you can get apples and things from Aomori Prefecture. I get rice from there, so I'll come here to pick up Aomori rice, which is kind of cool. It's nice. Brad writes in here, Appa is fine. It's fine, it's good enough. But that's the thing, it's good enough. Oh yeah, right. It's good enough, exactly. So the comment in the live chat here. Right now you can see the Appa Hotel in the background. I'm gonna hang out in the shade here. It's hot. Peso just stated the Appa Totori, very decent. They just received free Corona and giving free VOD. They reopened from Corona, right? And free VOD, video on demand for all guests. They do a pretty good job of getting things in bulk because they've just got so many hotels, and they've been buying up real estate like crazy in really good locations. This is not Ginza, but they call this the Ginza Shintomicho. And the reason why is because, of course, Ginza is close enough where you could walk. I think it's about a, I don't know, 10-minute walk to Ginza's, not like Ichome, which is not the more popular side. But it's a very simple hotel. Here, you can pan up here, and the prices are always pretty reasonable. Clashing Clans with Tofu writes in here, thanks for the channel, I was prepared. By the way, the bento box from Ichiban for the Shinkansen, I rate B at best. No one's watching us. All the curtains are closed. What does that mean? I guess people are still asleep or checked out or checked in. I don't know. I like this area though, because it's separated from the tourist attractions and you get to see another neighborhood, which is nice, but this is really out of place for an Appa hotel. And by the way, that brown building right here is another Appa hotel. That's Hachobori Appa Hotel. So they own two on the same block, which is kind of crazy. This one's closer to Ginza though. Shout out to Katayama. Thanks for the notification during the live stream. I touched the screen at the wrong time and we just got thrown off. Maybe hold off on sending me stuff through Discord for a little bit. I even turned it off. Sorry about that. All right, let's go for a little walk down the street here. Or why don't we go this way, because I can take you to the other Appa just to see if it is any different. I would not say Appa is the way to go. How dare you? Really? Appa is a way. It's not the best way. If you're trying to save money, stay at a guest house. Try to support local businesses. There's some mom and pop places. I don't know. And to be honest with you, I think that the best places are Japanese ryokan, which are a little bit more expensive because you get good food. But if you're looking for just a bed and a place to crash, Appa does. But for me, it's always the last resort. I'll find a place that's not exactly a chain. I'm just saying, because I live here, so it's going to be a little bit different from me. So when you ask me for advice, just keep in mind that I live here and I'm biased for Japan, and as a business owner myself, I'm biased on that too. So Appa is my last resort. And there's my bike. Shh. Poly. Not sure Japan is the best destination for you, but you can actually make do with a very limited budget in Japan because food is not as expensive as in the United States, I think. You could eat cheaperly. Is that a word? Hey, there's a Pizza Hut. After that, let's go check out Pizza Hut's menu here. I haven't had Pizza Hut for ages. Discord showed offline. Yeah, I'm offline on a permanent basis on Discord, okay? But I'm still there. Don't go by that. I shouldn't have said that. I'm invisible offline at all times, I think. Here's money for a bear as an... No, you don't need to do that, but thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm like, what is that curry smell? And then I found it. There's a restaurant here serving keema curry for 750 yen. That is dirt cheap. These restaurant prices are so cheap. And they have a vending machine for it. That's what that smell is right here. Oh, it smells so good. Here's the other Appa hotel, which makes no sense to me. But it is what it is. Holy smokes, that looks so good. The Tokyo Keema. And you get to pick your curry with side items there. It's a pretty sweet deal. And the point is, just made the point. Food is affordable. Accommodation's not as much. The tax is gonna hurt though, depending on how much they go. There's a post office there. Let's go, let's go around the block and we can go check out that Pizza Hut. Yeah, great comments here. I got some more assets. But first, I wanna take a break here. This QR code is to a project that I'm doing. Let me go over this with you as I walk a little bit around here. So I'm doing a bus tour to one of the greatest fireworks festivals in Japan. It's called Katakai. And on September 10th and 11th, we're gonna be meeting at September 10th in front of Tokyo Station at, I think it was like 8 a.m. And we're going to be, I'll adjust that, I haven't written it into the schedule, but we're starting from Tokyo. And if you sign up for it, the link is right there. If you sign up for it, you'll be coming along one of 30 people that we have, and we'll be following this itinerary, which takes us to the fireworks festival, takes us to lunch at a grandma place who's going to be cooking for us, takes us to the shrine, the temple for fireworks. They actually have a shrine for fireworks. We're going to be meeting with Honda-san. Ide-san talked with him today. Honda-san is the creator of the Yonshakudama, which is the largest shell fireworks It used to be the Guinness Book of World Records, but people have gone a little bit crazy, but he does this every year, 2 times. So we're going to get a chance to not just see it at the event hall where you can take a picture of it, but you're going to get a chance to, I think it's not a real one, but you're going to get a chance to talk with Honda-san, and we're going to get a chance to have event seating, which is going to be incredible there. And we have a hotel. I saw the view from the hotel was stunning. We have an onsen at that hotel. And then the next day we're going to be, after breakfast, we check out at 10, and we're going to be going to see the Nihiki, I'm trying to read it. Oh, it's in Romaji, okay. Yeah, the Nihiki Koi, which is koi, which is carp. And the town is the famous birthplace of Japanese carp, koi. So you get a chance to take a look at some of the places that they breed them, as well as even hold them, like a pet. They do this here, which is cool. And then we'll have another group photo. Everybody who signs up will get a, my mind's not working. I think it's because it's so darn hot. A happy. A happy is not happy, but it's a traditional Japanese festival wear, and it'll have only in Japan on the back of it. We're thinking of colors to make it bright and fun. And you get to wear that at the event too, so we can make sure we know where everybody is, first of all. And I'll sell some of the remaining ones to anybody who wants it, who can't make it to the event. But I want to show, I have to put my time and energy where my mouth is. And I said, everybody get out of the city. So I'm trying to do that by doing these bus tours. So I think we have about 9 people, and we need to have about 12 to run this. So we still need about 3 people, but there's a lot of time left. It's in September. So hopefully you guys can join. There's the QR code for the event, and it'd be a lot of fun to have you with us. Here, there's the fireworks of the Yonshakudama. There's the event poster. Trust me, if you're here in September, you did not miss the fireworks. The fireworks are just getting started, all right? This is the big one. This is how you end the summer, with this. And thank you, Nightbot, for sharing the link. I'm looking forward to seeing and meeting with you at Tokyo Station. So it's going to be great. I'm trying to get Leo and Kanai to come along with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. I thought I had some more assets here to show you. Thank you for the ice cream fund, Craig. Before that, I want to take a look at the pizza fund. Let's look at their now Pizza Hut is delivery only here. I have not eaten Pizza Hut in maybe, I don't know, at least 10 years. So if you do mochikairi, which is takeout, mochikairi, kaeri, you get a really good price. Typically, it's about 1,000 yen. But now that they have 30 and 50% off, mochikairi, medium pizza for 995 yen. That's like $7. So pizza prices have never been cheaper. The one that I would recommend, the one that I ate all the time 10 years ago, was the bulgogi pizza, which is the Korean. Let's take this here. I'll take one of these here. Look at that, a lot of scooters. The bulgogi pizza here. Barbecue chicken. Wow. Look at the eggplant on there. Japanese they do corn better than anywhere else, and mayonnaise, sometimes infused with oregano. But when you look at the menu, wow, look at that. They have it's a $9.95, like $7, medium-size takeout. So you could just come and pick it up for $7 if you're staying at that Appa hotel. Whoa. I don't see the bulgogi pizza. Must be the barbecue chicken. I think it was a wrong idea for me to take the flyer. I just got a new microphone wire. So the wire had failed. So everybody, if you've got a Rode Wireless 2 microphone, they make you spend $30 for a wire to use it on an iPhone, and that wire breaks so easily. Come on, go back in there. Put it back in as beautifully as I found it. I can't find the bulgogi. I guess it's this one, the barbecue chicken. Oh, here it is. This is the teri mayo chicken, but I don't see bulgogi. The Korean one was so darn good. Anyways, Pizza Hut's kind of oily, so it's not good for the love handles. Toropoco. No, there's no way. You see this? This is the diet. Are you kidding me? You trying to corrupt me? Probably. You know what? I'm gonna get. You know, I'm gonna just spend that money on tofu. They're probably. You can rescind your super chat. No, don't do it. I probably will get a pizza now, just in August when this diet. I saw your video on the tourist boom in Japan and was wondering if there are any alternatives to Osaka. After seeing that video, I'm thinking of switching from Kyoto to Kanazawa. I'm really happy to hear that. Hello.
Big fan of yours.
Ah, are you staying around here?
I'm leaving today.
Are you leaving?
Yeah, I came running from Ginza.
Oh, wow. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, YouTube.
How you doing? Oh.
I don't want to disturb your live stream.
Oh, you're not disturbing. You're enhancing.
Ah, thank you.
Where were you staying?
Appa Hotel.
No way!
Really,
the one right here?
No, in Akihabara.
Oh.
It has good prices.
Why was Appa good for you?
Cheapest and best location. Akihabara is a good line. Ginza line?
Yeah.
You can get like around anywhere very quickly.
Was the price comparable?
I paid, I'm saying in dirhams, United Arab Emirates, but I think in dollars it's $400 for 7 days.
Okay.
It's not bad, yani.
Yeah.
You can travel cheaply. I got also my air ticket, very good. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
What was the highlight of your trip?
Oh, I went to Hakone.
Hakone.
The museum.
Oh, right.
The open air museum.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I took a car there, which was my second time driving in Japan. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think I did a live stream there, but
It has a Picasso exhibition. I was so it was my highlight.
That was the highlight of the trip. And you went back UAE.
Yeah, I'm going today. I'm going to Dubai via Qatar.
Oh, do you know Joe Hattab?
Joe Hattab. I think I know his face, but I don't know his name.
Oh yeah, he's I think he's based out of Dubai now. He's another YouTuber that
used to live in Japan.
He comes here so much. I think he pretty much lives here in Japan, I think.
Okay.
But yeah.
It's my third time in Japan. I always travel solo.
Oh,
because
okay.
you know, it's like my friends are busy with uni and work.
Yeah.
So there's not like good time. And this time in Dubai, it's so hot. It's like 50 degrees. People say don't come to Japan now because it's
hot.
It's hot.
Oh yeah, come on.
But to us, it's like winter.
But I mean, like, it's a different heat, isn't it? This is very humid. It's about the same.
For me, I'm really like comfortable here. It's like room temperature.
Yeah.
In December in Dubai, it's like this temperature, in this time. So it's heaven for me.
This isn't hot yet.
Really?
The humidity is not high enough. In about a week, it's going to become like you can't even breathe because it's like soup.
So it's good
because
I'm
yeah, and then you're leaving at a good time. My shirt is all sweat.
Same here. I came running to you.
That's not but that's from running.
That's from running, yeah.
But in the summer, it's just leave the hotel and it's just you start sweating because
Man, I got the tan here. I really got the tan. In Dubai, I don't get tans.
Really?
Yeah, because the sun is here. Like, I don't know, the ozone layer or something. I don't know what has to do with it, but it hits my skin like it burns.
Probably all the sun reflecting off the Pacific Ocean. It's island, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming to say
Can I take a
hi.
picture with you?
Absolutely,
Selfie, if that's okay with
absolutely.
you. Man, okay. 1, 2, 3. It's timer, right? I forgot to time. Just a second. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, man. 4
You're
years I've
welcome.
been watching your last live stream.
Oh!
I really appreciate it.
Over the pandemic.
Over the pandemic, even like 2018, I watched like only in Japan.
Yeah.
Your friend, the one who wears like a cap. The other guy, the one who voiced only in Japan.
Oh, Peter.
Peter, yeah, Peter.
Yeah. Oh, I wish he was here today. He'd be so happy to meet you.
You made my trip, honestly. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. What's your name?
Yusuf.
Thank you, Yusuf. Yeah, I might have a You Found Me card.
Do you?
Yeah.
If you don't, it's okay.
I've been making, I do. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Here, you can have, and this is the postcard from this month. Have a postcard too.
No, it's okay. Is that really okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yusuf. I have a card. That's so nice. Yusuf ran here from Ginza. Wow, it reminds me of when Peso ran from like the other side of the city to meet me in, where was that? Near Ebisu, right? It's crazy. I see this guy charging me. My defense is going up. Like, what the heck? It was Peso. How nice was that? Yeah. So his experience was really good with Appa Hotel, and in particular, holy smokes! No, it's not the trash truck. There's a freaking another Appa Hotel. What the heck? I was not prepared for that. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. What is it doing here? Wait, so we had Shintomicho and Hachobori. This is Hachobori Shintomicho. So they just put the two together and they made a third one. This has to be new. By the way, I want to shout out to the sanitation department here in Tokyo. They are so darn good. And during the pandemic, this is a really tough time because those that had COVID would put tissues and stuff in there and they started getting COVID. And I found that my neighbors, and Kanai and I did it too, on our bags of trash, we wrote Arigato. And we found that everybody in Tokyo started writing Arigato, like thank you, on the trash bags. So when we put it out, we wanted to show our appreciation to the people who pick up our trash. And I remember seeing one of them and he just, smiled, and I think that they were very appreciative of that. But little teeny things go a long way in Japan, and that detail, and now when I see the people picking up, I know the garbage, I know that it's not an easy job, not in this heat either, because they're wearing uniforms. I was not ready to see a Appa Hotel again right here. Absolutely, salute the people who are working to keep our cities running. They should put the tourist promotion budget and give them bonuses for what I believe. So basically they had Ginza Shintomicho and then they go and they do Hachobori Shintomicho. So yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's Appa Hotel. Just do it. So he recommended Yusuf recommended the one in Akihabara, and I would agree if you can get a spot there, it's so convenient. Wow, the Yoshinoya is packed right now. Lunchtime. All right, so I'm gonna walk back now. Let's take some questions from you guys here. When do you need to start wearing a jacket in Japan? I would say about October, maybe a light, you want to have a light jacket in maybe the second or third week of October. It's hard to predict the weather. I just know I wear shorts until November, so I might wear a jacket and then I'll have shorts on. I don't care. And then I might have shorts until December too. When I go running, I always have shorts on even in February, so there's that. But I would say I don't start wearing a winter jacket in Tokyo until the middle of December. But in some rare cases, if it's really cold, I might in December. Very rarely in November have I gotten out my down jacket. Usually a sweatshirt or a sweater is fine enough. When does the new hotel tax start? They're talking about it right now, but I would expect it to start as soon as possible. I think the only thing that's holding it up from already starting is the fact that they have to get the new payment system in order. I believe it's going to be percentage, but I'm not sure. And when it is enacted, I think we're still at a stage where your voice can be heard. So I'm hoping that, I'm pretty sure that people at Tokyo are watching this in the government to see what's the opinion of the tourists, because for them to do a poll like this would cost them like $10,000. All right. For me to do a live stream, here I am, and it's free. So if you want to give your feedback to Tokyo, put it in quotes and say, here's my feedback to Tokyo, and leave it a comment, or you can leave it as a chat here. And I think it's important that the city of Tokyo hears your feedback on these kinds of things before they enact it. I think the tax is too low, but I don't think that they should raise it up too high. So I think this is something that they should definitely think about. very closely. Here it is again here. In Hokkaido, they have a tax of 2% of the room charge in Kuchan, which is Niseko, right? Kyoto has I think it was 500 yen to a certain price and 1,000 yen for the rest of the hotels here. But you can see that obviously they have no choice but to hire taxes because they just don't have, they have a shortfall. They collect 1.7 billion yen, they pay out almost 26 billion yen. So obviously they're gonna have to collect the money. But here's the current taxes here. Hotels in the capital charge 100 yen per person per night for stays costing between 10 and 15,000 yen, which is the majority of the hotels, and then 200 yen per night for anything over that. First of all, start charging more than 200 yen for a $1,000 room. Perhaps they should start there. I think that's where they will. The collected tax goes towards tourism-related costs, including maintaining free public Wi-Fi and operating tourism information centers. I get that, but I think that they're doing more than that with that money, and I think that the promotions are falling well short. I think they didn't even want to write it in this article. Just my feeling. I know that Dentsu gets a chunk, and whenever you do that, it's a political thing. You're putting people to work to do almost nothing. I hate saying that. What do? They do compliance work. I looked into getting a budget from the, I mean, it's a smart thing to do, to get a budget from Cool Japan, from the government, and they mean well, and they have a budget every year to do what I do, meaning I could get a grant to make episodes like going out to faraway islands and not just helping the economy there with my filming, like scuba diving costs. I'm filming that. Of course, I'm enjoying it a little bit, but I'm actually filming it, so I'm not enjoying the dive as much because it's work. They have grants for that kind of stuff here, but the compliance and paperwork is so ridiculous that it's not worth it in the end because it takes all of the fun out of it. And I have an assistant who will do this stuff for me. And by the way, she's got COVID. If you're watching, Emmy, I hope you get well soon. Her whole, you know, it's a tough time. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything at all. But I'm thinking about her right now and hoping she's doing okay. But the compliance and paperwork for this kind of thing, it should be high because it's taxpayer dollars. But if they've got it, they should make it accessible because a lot of it doesn't get used at all because it's too hard to get. You know what I mean? If you have to hire 5 people to comply, to just do the paperwork, then you've spent like 50% of the budget just on paperwork. And that's the problem with a lot of anything run by the government in Japan. In order to do compliance, you have to pay. That is a really good price. For all of that soba and for the soup, it's at 1,050 yen with the tax. And then you get this tempura for 1,450 yen, which is about $10 right now. That's crazy cheap with the exchange rate. Amiro writes in here, free Wi-Fi in Shibuya helped me contacting my big bro when we got lost. Yes, and that has to be paid for from something, and it's better that it comes from you. And I get a lot of you are really upset. Michael Sasado's here. Hey brother, made it, you did. So I think, let's see what we can do with the snack here. So I think, as we're walking through Hachobori, this is one of my favorite just chill Tokyo neighborhoods that's close to Ginza, Akihabara Tokyo Station, and near the river. And this is very close to where I live, so that's why I say it can be chill, because I'm chill most of the time. So the point is that, I forget what I was just talking about. Oh my gosh, that happens sometimes. Yeah, they're going to have to raise the taxes, and how they do it, I think, has to be fair. Do you charge, what about me? I don't need the Wi-Fi in all these systems. Do they charge residents of Japan? Or is it just tourists that get charged? What about certain tourists that use services more than others? Maybe tourists from one country use the services 10 times more than from another country because they don't offer that language as support. Something to think about. This restaurant smells like India. I'm gonna have to go in there for lunch. Thanks guys for the super chat. I think I just found my lunch place. So if you're getting pocket Wi-Fi, that's really good to have, especially if you're gonna be traveling on trains and stuff. But if you're just going around the city, you might not even need it because like even when I was pulling up to here, I got the Chuoku Wi-Fi for free from somewhere. And I think that they're paying the hotel to pipe this out into the street. So for people to get lost, they'll still have a Wi-Fi and be able to find themselves, which is something that's important for everybody that's going through a little bit of, you know, I'm lost in life and what should I do? You need Wi-Fi to figure it out. Or one of those 8 balls. Why don't we go across the street? We can get something from the, let's get something from the Aomori store across the street. Maybe I can get a Aomori only drink. I better cross at the street crossing. Shit, let's go in and get an Aomori only drink at the Aomori shop. I don't think they'll mind me streaming inside there. Yeah, you have a lot of the festivals going on here. Right now in Toyosu, there's a festival that I might go with Kanai just to stop in there. But I've got a lot of editing to do. Just a heads up, I've been working for 2 months on an episode on the firebombing of Tokyo. And it has been a lot of work, a lot of interviews. Actually, I could ask you guys here because it is relevant. I interviewed 2 people in their 90s that were alive when the firebombing took place. One of them, both interviews are over an hour long, but Emmy was so kind enough, and please charge me for every second of that, Emmy. She subtitled those interviews. So I was thinking of putting them up here on this channel, Only in Japan Go, because I can't find a good place to cut these interviews and do it justice. I think you have to listen to their story, the whole thing, because the story, you know, it starts from the day before until what happened when they were there and the aftermath of what Tokyo was like following it, because they had over 100,000 people die from that one firebombing in World War II, which dwarfs what happened in Germany. That's not something to brag about, folks, but the numbers were deflated in Japan for this because the military did not want to, the government did not want to record everything, apparently. This is what I've been told from people. And it was inflated in Germany. That's what I was told as well. I don't know what's true. It's not something I'm going to report in the main channel episode, but when you do something like this, you want to make sure that everybody is counted, because that's a life. And I think it was deflated heavily in Tokyo, and it's even the firebombing museum, which I've been to about 7 times in the last couple of months. I found out they're privately funded. The city won't even give them a budget because they don't want to acknowledge that it even happened in a way. You get a feeling that one side is a little bit hurt from it and the other side wants to just look to the future. And I understand both, but gosh darn it, it's hard. But that's why I don't want to cut the interview. So I might put the full 1-hour interview on Only Japan Go after I release this video. I think next week, before the Hiroshima anniversary, because what happened in Tokyo is not reported much because of that. Nobody really wants to talk about it. And yet the residents that are still alive, and there's a lot of them in their hundreds, they can't forget. So it's like nobody listens to them. And I thought it was a pretty good story because I see the damage when I go around the city to this day. So I'll be showing you that. Tortoropoco, interviews equals valuable addition to your channel. Not a lot of people like interviews in the episodes. YouTubers avoid them because it kills retention rate. But if I didn't have somebody's voice except for mine, it's a vlog. And I don't want to be a vlogger, although this is a vlog. I want that to be a channel of stories, not told just by me, but by the people, their firsthand, which is why I do the interviews. So shout out to my Patreon. Thank you so much for the support, guys. All right, let's get a drink here. Oh, hold on, I don't have my wallet. Oh, do I have my, oh my gosh. All right, you know what? I can't even get anything. All I have is my driver's license. I don't even have my IC card because Leo took it out. All right, we can take a look inside here a little bit. They have all this stuff from Aomori. This is nice. Hotate. I can't believe I forgot my wallet. I gotta get home. How am I gonna eat lunch? I left here in such a hurry if I didn't even take it. Because I got this new stinking wire for this microphone. But it's my fault. Blame the wire. It's funny how they write it in English. Since 1851, they've been cutting hair here. That's crazy. This has been a barber shop since 1851? It's called Burr Kawaii, which is the last name of the owner. I should get my hair cut here. Yeah. It's just two old guys in there. I could use a Suica on the iPhone. I just haven't activated it yet. And I don't have any Suica. I use Ikoka. And I use Kitaka and Sugoka, which is from Kagoshima. I haven't been a Suica fan. So I don't have a Suica here. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to feel special. And then I realized that by doing that, I don't have access to all the good perks that Suica cards might have. But you can use them all interchangeably. It's usually in my phone cover. All right, let's take a look at the couple last questions here. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I got so many episodes to release to you guys. I just have to edit it. But every time I apply for a permit to film, they say yes now. So I'm filming like crazy, but I got to get up to what I film. Heads up where you smoke in Osaka. I got hit with a 1,000 yen fine by 2 old enforcers. Yeah, that's no smoking in Chuo Ward either. It's a 3,000 yen fine. And by the way, don't double ride on a bicycle. That's also a 3,000 yen fine, and they just hit you with that. The fines they will hit you with. I'm surprised my friend Peter got a gold license. You get that after 5 years of no speeding, no fines, no pullovers. And yeah, that's an incredible feat. John, I saw your video about tourism overpopulation and might switch from Kyoto to Kanazawa. Do you have an alternative to Osaka? Thanks for asking again on that. I saw that earlier. For Osaka, an alternative could be, I don't know. I would say make sure you go to Hiroshima or Miyajima, okay? Osaka's a great city. I think you should spend some time there. There's nothing wrong with going to Dotonbori, which is what everywhere goes. And if it's your first time to Japan, there's nothing wrong with going to Kyoto. By all means, you should experience it. There is a culture there. But if it's your second time and you're going to Kyoto because you had a good time the first time, I'm not going to say that don't do that. I'm just going to say that there really is an overpopulation of tourists. And I'm hearing English in these places more than I'm hearing Japanese. And I'm wondering why these people haven't discovered Kanazawa or Toyama or, you know, there's small towns in Nagano which probably could use a little bit more love. Even Takayama doesn't have, well, I don't know, Peso, how is Takayama? Still doesn't have a lot of tourists, I believe. Wakayama, Shirahama, yeah. Koyasan, these are all places. Koyasan, you're gonna get an authentic experience staying in a Buddhist temple. Think about that. And you have the, you know, Buddhist cuisine. It's all healthy. No meat, which is good for you. In moderation. Even vegetarian food in moderation. Fukuoka, exactly. Wait, I have tourists, yes. Yeah, and with the heat in Kyoto, I think it's really important to go to the mountains more or go to the beach. You don't have to stay in this, it's just ridiculous. I think it's not fun. Between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., probably 5, Kyoto, if you're walking around the city, is so uncomfortable, not just because of the crowds, but because of the heat. It's not fun. And everywhere you go, it's full. You try to get a seat at a Starbucks, you can't even do that. Just to get an iced coffee, you have to drink it outside where the heat is. Find some shade. I haven't been back to Kurama. When I say Kyoto, I mean Kyoto proper, by the way. Kyoto is a prefecture, one of the 47 in Japan, and it goes all the way out to the Sea of Japan. So don't get me wrong. Kyoto, when I say Kyoto, I mean Kyoto proper. You can go to Uji, right? You could go to, you know, there's tons of places in Kyoto that you could go that's just not in the center, but you'd have to take a train to get there, or bus, or rent a car, which is nice. There's absolutely nothing wrong with acting like tourists when you're actually tourists. Saya, amen to that. No complaints. I think tourists are gonna do what tourists do, and that's fine, because I'm a tourist too when I leave Tokyo in some respects. Not really. I've been to every prefecture like almost 4 times. Most of them 5 or 6 or 7 actually. I used to live in 16 of them. 13 of them, some of them more than once. But the point is, you know, the thing is to do your research in advance, and you know, you can be a tourist, that's fine. You don't have to wear special clothes. Wear what you think is comfortable, except a thong. But, and even then, it's probably gonna be okay if it's at the beach. I don't know. But you can't help but to be who you are. Don't change. It's just all about, I'm trying to give you a better route, because there's something better than Kyoto, believe it or not. There's something better than Kyoto, and it's the Japanese countryside. There's places that will surprise you that are better, all right? And the experience is not gonna be the experience. Did you ever see the Instagram photos, the Instagram photo and then the reality, the comparison? The reality of Kyoto is you're one of like 5 million all scrunched in like this now. That's the reality. From a tourist perspective, suggest learning a little bit of the language before. Duolingo's good. Learning a little bit of the language will take you a long way. It opens doors, but it also helps you feel more comfortable. In particular, if you have allergies, if you have some limitations, when you get into a taxi, it could avoid uncomfortable situations. And sometimes learning how to count to 1 to 20 or 1 to 100 is really easy. So then 1 to 1,000, then you know how you can pay for stuff, and because you use it, it sticks. And you probably will come back to Japan if you use the language and you learn that you want to come back here and use it again and again. So I recommend it. Learning katakana and hiragana on your flight to Japan, you can do that by using flashcards. When you land, you're proficient enough to read menus at a restaurant. No excuse to be watching entertainment on it when you could be using flashcards and watching entertainment. Come on, all those Hollywood movies, superheroes, nothing original. They had only in Japan on the flights, I would say something else. Can't believe I left my wallet. I'm so hungry. Oh my gosh. I just came back from 2 weeks in Japan. I didn't like how hot Tokyo and Kyoto were, yeah. Again, I told my friend Joe, he was thinking of coming now. I was like, dude, don't come. It's only tourists, and it's so darn hot. There's no reason to come to Japan in July, August, unless this is the only time you can come. The days are longer, but wait until September, bro. And he's coming in October, which is good. That's maguro season, so you get the best sushi in the fall. There you go. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Be prepared for increases in taxes and things that cost a little bit more, but in the end, it's gonna be just a fraction of your trip, and it'll pay for things like information centers because they're running a deficit on that. But I just hope they find a fair way to do it. There's never a fair way to do it. Tax people go into the, Amman hotel, like 5%, then you pretty much will cover that shortfall in a year. Not that that's fair, but because they probably have better services at the Amman hotel than they do at the tourist information centers from those taxes in which they're using to pay for. I don't know. Disclosure, I really like the Amman hotel. I've never stayed there, but I've seen the rooms and eaten a couple times at the restaurant for anniversaries, and it's really nice. So, yeah. You can stay as a civilian. The bases. Thank you. All right. So see you guys. I'll be on the 28th in Harajuku. You can catch me there. In the afternoon. I'll be dressed up in a Japanese school uniform. So you might want to catch me in Harajuku on the 28th. What is that, tomorrow? The day after tomorrow? And I'll see you another live stream probably tomorrow because it's the end of July and there's a lot to talk about. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.